let's have a look at cost administration workspace. If I come into there, I'll see a tab here called all release products to configure. What guarantees a product, or what's the query that makes a product show up in this list, for example. So let's have a look at creating a new release product. So if I go into release product maintenance and I'll go into my all release products, and then I'm going to go and create a new product. So I'll make it a product called X563, for example, X563, and I'll just apply a template to make it quick, and it's just a basic set of items set up. Alright, so I've got the item configured, and I'm just going to save it so that it's saved. And now the item's created, let me jump over to another tab here. I'll just refresh and let's have a look at, I'll use two tabs so we can look at the two different workspaces. Alright, so if we come and if I do next, for example, and let's do a refresh. So if I hit next, you'll see that my item shows up here. Now it's worth noting that there is some data caching that happens on this workspace. So if you don't immediately see the item, now ordinarily you probably wouldn't have that sequence happen in that quick succession, because someone that's initially sets up the item and then someone that maybe goes and administers the cost data might be two different people, and then there'll be two different tasks that they'll do a little bit of time apart, but I'm doing them all in one process. So this is my item. If I don't see it, I can click the see more button as well, and then you'd be able to see it here. For example, it would show up in the list in the see more. So what filter does the system apply to have something show up on this list, which is products that need to be configured? So if I go back to my item, and if we go and have a look, what it's looking for essentially is whether a cost group has been assigned. So if I go to manage my costs, for example, I'm going to go and apply a cost group, and so in this particular case just say no costing sheet, for example. So I'll save it, and then we'll jump out of the product. Now I'll just pause the video because it'll take a little while for that workspace to refresh. If I go there immediately and then hit a refresh, you'll see that it's still in the list. I'll pause the video while the data cache gets updated, but you'll see if I go to the more like I did before and search for the product, you'll see that nothing will be found. So that the data is updated in the background, it's just that this list will take a little while to refresh. So I'll pause the video and then we'll see it go away. Alright, if I refresh now and have a look, you'll see that it's gone off the list. So it might take a little while depending on how the cache settings are set up. So you can see those if you go across to system administration. You'll see, for example, tile data cache configuration, for example. So if I go into tile data cache, you'll see that a lot of these cost item setups, in this demo data it's set up for 600 seconds, which is essentially 10 minutes. It might take 10 minutes for some of those indicators to refresh actually on the workspace. So that's a quick look at the all release products to configure. In this case, any item in here doesn't have a cost group associated with it. So if you want to take something off and you're using this as an indicator to finish setting up an item, then look at the cost group on the item.